Hi guys, welcome back. It's Matthew. This is another target pool session of mine. This was for target 326101. I was blind to the target. I'm filming this now after my session's completed and submitted. So the target on target revealed turned out to be the controversial subject of chemtrails. Do they exist, and viewer is to describe if they do. Target 326101. So let's have a look and see what my subconscious thought of it. Before I go through it, I just want to say that I may be wrong on all of this. These are my perceptions of this target. It could all be made up. It's just a weird session this was. Looking forward to showing you. Right, first part. I sketched this device with a base. I wrote down AOL flagpole. It had this metal prong which came out with this top part. I had this AOL of like a whipped balloon. I was getting this like feeling of like a net thrown into water. This like water sounds slowly forming this irregular shape, like a net would, like a fishing net would. And I wrote that thing like a wet net in water movement. I wrote down. That's all I was getting at this point. All right, this part I was getting a ball, AOL of a ball. This idea of this fast moving object can move at high speeds. I wrote down. Just gone. I wrote down. Gone in a flash. This little UFO ball, you can move at irregular flight paths at an instant, and that was somehow associated to this target. And that leads me to the next part. Right, the next part, I was getting this perception of this city sort of place. AOL Rome. I wrote down City of Vincent. I'm not sure where Vincent is, if it's a place. I was getting this perception from this high ground looking down of these buildings, and I sketched a bit of what looks like a tunnel to a straight tunnel to a different area from these. I could be wrong. I'm not sure where I was going with this. I'm moving on. I was getting this static. My actual hair was tingling when I was drawing this. I wrote down, AOL hair is tingly and numb. I was getting this weird feeling on my head. Static charge in the air affects hair. So it's like like sort of electric feel. And that was that with this. Right, this part it went really weird. I was getting these dome craft perceptions. The first one was the one with the black, the lines over it, dome shadow down, mostly black with this red part on it. Vaster down. I was getting this AOL over like a ladybird. And then I started sketching this face of this object or this being. I could get it, and I couldn't just perceive it properly. This thing was like obscuring itself from me. It didn't want me to see. It's trying its best to evade me, trying to stop me. It clouded my perceptions, so I forced it, and that's all I could get, which is really weird. I haven't experienced that before. Usually people don't notice what I'm doing. So it's all weird. It's very strange. Let's move on. Right, now I was getting this AOL of a Japanese Airlines UFO. I wrote on a plane ? A dampening effect, atmospheric modulation. I was getting this idea of this wake, which air sort of kicked up and tailed off, whether it's released from a certain point. And I wrote, yeah, atmospheric modulation. I'm not sure what that is. Is that a thing? Rips off, bounces off a certain layer I'm not sure what I was doing drawing this. It's just weird. It's an air-based target, this. And that was that. Right, the next part of this session, I don't know what this was. I started sketching something. I think it may be better sideways on. I was getting this perception of it's an aircraft. But then it turned into this sort of like bumpy shell type of thing. We had imperfections to it. I wrote on collection of items on the exterior. Well, on those Indian Vimana, is it? The UFO, the mythical UFOs. And I'm not sure what this was. Just a bit of a weird sketch. I had a person coming up in the session, sketch what I could perceive. He had glasses on. Reminded me of sort of like an older gentleman. Longish but flat hair, in control, I wrote down. Long nose, like he was a professor. This guy is in control of a certain part of this. This is, I guess, even weirder. I was getting this perception of this pyramid. This pyramid, I wrote on, well, black pyramid gives energy. But it gives energy up. And I wrote down, it's like a power plant, well power plant. It gives energy to create a wormhole for craft to come in and out of. So it's linked, the pyramid underground or below the ground is linked to producing transport for craft. That's all I can put it like. Strange, but that's what this sort of sketch is. That was that. I was getting a perception of this man in a hazmat suit. He's a worker. He's monitoring modulations. Modulations in what? I don't know. I was getting this like black rock. I don't know, obsidian. I don't really know what obsidian is. I think it's a rare earth metal or rock or something. Black basalt. I wrote, can generate obscene power. So I think this is tying in with the previous pyramid, possibly. And that was that for this. Right, this is where it took a strange turn again. I was getting this perception of this lizard person. You know, I don't like saying things like this, but it could all be wrong. Can manipulate at will or down. I was getting these slit eyes, very strong, very psychic. I wrote it down. He's almost like masterful at it. He had this, he's wondering how I got there. That's all I'm going to put it. So, I got a name like Ratak. I'm not sure if that is a thing. Has anyone heard of that? You know, it's just strange. But this was clear. This is involved somehow. Possibly pulling strings. Very strong individual. And I'm going to leave her at that for this part. Right, last off, this was my final sketch. I had this AOL of Alaska, drew this land area. I wrote down here, I sketched like these 3 points. I was getting this triangle, and just off center from the middle of it, I was getting this location, possibly where this pyramid is, and with this village or city is, that's connected to the static in the air. It's all linked. Well, my subconscious seems to think so. Yeah, and that was that for this session. I'd just leave it there, I think. Right, on reflection, one of the strangest sessions I've ever worked. Alaska linked to this target, possibly. ET presence. Linked to a massive power generator that creates wormholes, allows transport of craft. It's all there. Am I wrong? I don't know. What happens if I'm right? I'd leave it at that. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you soon. Peace.